Hello and welcome back to the Estate Agent Consultancy Podcast. Fantastic to have you with us today. Have you ever noticed how some businesses, both estate agency and non-estate agency as well, tend to stay stuck in the mud while others just improve and improve and improve over time? So one of the biggest reasons I always find for this is actually who the business and business owners compare them against themselves to in either personally or in the business sense as well. So the common saying is that you're the average of the five people you spend the most time with. So let's say, for example, my top five friends were all absolutely fitness enthusiasts. They were on the bike, they were in the gym, they were running day in, day out. Chances are, statistically, in the future, I would become the sixth member of the super fit, go to the gym and cycling a lot gang, because that's what we talk about. That's the commonality, and therefore that's kind of what you become over time. But it's very hard to choose who you hang out with day in, day out. Friends, you probably had them for a long time. Family, your family, love them or hate them. Your partners are your partners, and therefore you've got limited choice about who is nearby to you, about who you can kind of hang out with at any time. But one thing you've got a massive control over is who you compare yourself to. So who you personally compare yourself to individually, but also who you compare your business to at any day as well. And the amazing thing is this can change and evolve over time as well. And it's a really good catalyst for people to either look to improve their business, or if they don't, they just stay stuck in the mud. So are you measuring yourself against the right people and you're kind of not pushing yourself forward, or are you measuring yourself against the, oh, I've messed that up. So are you measuring yourself against the right people that are going to help you push your business forward, or are you measuring yourself against the wrong people and you think, oh, actually, that's okay because they're doing it, so therefore that's okay for myself as well. So this is a double-edged sword. So for example, if we're comparing ourselves against other people, so the expression is the comparison is the thief of joy. But if we are looking at someone who is super, 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 super high up, so let's say, for example, I have a consultancy business, sort of a training business. If I look at Tony Robbins, for example, I'm like, I'm a piece of crap. Like Tony Robbins is charging like £1 million a day. He's got rooms of thousands of people. He's got followers. He's got millions of books, whatever else. I would go, oh my God, that is unattainable. So that's the negative way of looking at it. The other side of it is you can look at it from a downward trajectory as well. If I looked at someone who had just started and had like one client and didn't have any social media presence and hadn't written a book and whatever else it may be, I'd be like, huh, at least I'm doing better than that person. Yeah, could be worse. I'm not Tony Robbins, but I'm not newbie over here, sort of thing. So there's a really fine line to walk here that we don't want to be going kind of super reaching for someone that is just like in the stratosphere, but also don't want to be looking downward and go, oh, it's fine because at least we're better than them. That's kind of a negative way of looking at it. So the key is finding the right sort of people to around you and people that are, I mean, even with social media, they even need to be around you, kind of philosophically around you, with regard to who you can compare yourself against. And as I mentioned earlier, this can most definitely change over time. So, for example, you might have just launched your business and go, actually, right, who's 6 months up the road from me? Who's a year down the road from where I am today? And what have they done? And how can I kind of get to their level? So, you're kind of looking at sort of the next level age on that side. So, who's kind of next chain down the road? Who's gone from where I am today as a one person band to making a team and making a success of it? Oh, I wish I could be like Margaret. Margaret's got the most amazing business. If I can just kind of look at her and see what she's done and replicate that, oh, high five. I'll be loving that. The other people to look at is people that have great marketing. So this doesn't necessarily need to be in the estate agency world. You know, there are businesses outside the property market, so I've been reliably informed. You might look at a company either locally, nationally, internationally, and go, "Oh my God, I just love their socials. I love their Instagram. Are they when they go live on Facebook, they do the coolest videos, or their content is so on point, or their branding, or their company message is just so cool. I'm going to try and replicate that and be like that company or that individual because I just love what they do." The next one is people have kind of got it nailed with regard to kind of their system as a business. So you look at them and go, "Oh my goodness, they are like a swan. Like on the surface, they're like, oh, it's so calm. I've got it composed. Oh, yeah, I work 3, 4 days a week. Yeah, I'm on holiday next week. Oh, and you think, oh my God, they've got life sorted. And they've got this amazing business behind the scenes, which is like this well-oiled machine, which just runs and just goes forward. And you're like, how have they done that? So these are really good people to look at and go, they're the next step down the road for myself, either in marketing or performance or having a team or having an office or brand awareness or market share, and go, how can I be more like them? How can I look at them and go, actually, how can I replicate what they've done and sort of look up at them and go, wow, if I can 6 months' time, if I can get to that point, I'd be all over that. Another really good group of people to look at is the market disruptors. So who is disrupting the market in the local area and doing something a bit different? Because let's face it, the most common feedback you hear as an agent are, oh, all estate agents are the same. You just bang it on Rightmove, you just bang it on Zoopla, and then the phone rings. Like, so you want to look at people and go, oh my God, they're doing something different. They're doing something really cool, and I really, really like that. I love the branding. Oh my God, they've gone for bright pink instead of boring estate agency blue sort of thing. That's a really cool thing to do. So there's lots of people out there we can look at, both inside of a state agency and outside of a state agency as well, where we can look at it and go, they're doing some cool stuff. I want to be more like them. And as a person who does this a lot and kind of changes quite regular basis who he compares himself with, you'll rank up over time. I won't name names here because it'd be very unprofessional of me. But if I look at the people who I compared myself with when I first launched, now I'm like, no, I don't compare myself against them in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much. You know, but I look at the people I compare myself against now and where I want to be in the future. I'm like, yeah, cool. I can have that. Thank you very much. Away we go. So don't be afraid to change who you can compare yourself to as your business grows and as you mature as an individual as well. You know, this is both in business and in your personal life as well, because what is, true today may not be true in the future. So refresh and review this. So step one of doing this is have an audit about who you're currently comparing yourself against. If you are comparing yourself against the agent in town because they're your main competition, well, the pinch point for you improving yourself is probably just the other agent in town because, oh, they've put their fee up, I'll put my fee up. They've done pro photographs, we'll do pro photographs. Oh, they've started doing some stuff on Facebook. I better do some stuff on Facebook. You're going to be limited by the competition you've got. Whereas if you look at the entire country or the world with regard to the estate agency side of things, you're like, oh my God, these guys over in LA are doing some amazing mega stuff on video content at the moment. I'm going to nick what they're doing and bring it to Slough. Like, talk about like gazumping and just like pooing all over your competition in town because you're not being restricted by the locality you're comparing yourself with. You're doing an international market and you're bringing the best bits to bring that into your business. So we want to look around, we want to search out our field. So once we've done that audit to start off with about who we're actually comparing ourselves with, you'll go through and you'll go, actually, yeah, they're good. I'll keep them. They're a keeper. But these people, I've outgrown them. I shouldn't be comparing myself against those. So we need to find these better reference points. And literally, the world is your oyster. Property, business, estate agency, it's everywhere. I mean, I love looking at the content for lots of the content creators in America at the moment. You can tell it's a level above what we're doing in the UK at the moment. I look at that stuff and think, oh, that is really cool. They're spending a lot of money on this video content to make it look like a Hollywood production. And I look at that and think, wow, that's cool. That's going to come to the UK in 2 years' time, a year's time, for example. But if you can get on board with that now, what a great place to be. And the most important part of it is to take action. So there's no point just kind of watching people and going, oh, I love their video content, or I love what they do on their socials, or I love their branding, or I love what they do when they sell a property. You need to take action on it. You need to look at it and go, almost, how can I make myself a bit more like them? Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm all for you being you. You are one of a kind, one of 7 billion or whatever up to these days. Absolutely be you. But if you can look at parts of their business and go, that's really cool, I'm going to start using that. Or that's amazing. That's clearly working really well for them. I'm going to start bolting that onto my business as well. What you're sort of going to amalgamate over time is the best bits of those 5 people you follow. You're like, oh my God, their social media, I'm going to bolt that on my business. Oh my God, their follow-up process, I'm going to bolt that on my business. Their personality and their branding, I'm going to bolt that onto my business. So eventually you've got an amalgamation of all of them and yourself in that as well. Now that is a super, super cool place to be. So run that audit. Write down the 5 people you compare yourself against to day in, day out. Go through that list, be harsh and be like, who actually should I be? Does this person deserve to be on my list that I compare myself against to? Actually, they're a bit of a dick. I'm going to cross them out. Thank you very much. And then look at it and go, actually, who should I be comparing myself to? When it comes to my marketing, who should I compare myself to? When it comes to being a great agent, who should I compare myself to? When it comes to my branding and my company colors and my ethos and everything to do with team building, who do I compare myself against? Add that into your new list. And then every 6 months, just go through that list and go, have I outgrown that person? Am I actually now at a point where I am level pegging with them and I can then reach even higher to the next kind of branch up the tree? Right, that is the end of today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Get those lists going, get those comparisons out there. Honestly, I know they say it's the thief of joy, that you're punching too high if it's the thief of joy. You should be punching to a level where you look at it and go, I can have that. I can have that in my business, and that would be the coolest thing. Have a great day. I'll catch you on the next podcast.